Good to have you guys in this next class. Good to have you guys. So, what we're actually doing today is we want to look at architectural drawing. We want to look at construction drawing for architectural drawing. So, as we all know in construction, so those guys are still the principal. Like they have a say when it comes to construction. So, if I have a drawing on a construction project, even I myself as a surveyor, I have architectural, I have structural. So I always look forward to my architectural because those guys are very, very important. So I place architectural over my structural. So I pay a lot of attention to architectural drawing as I'm doing for structural too, but more attention to architectural drawing. So because there are some things that you will not even look into that will cause a lot of problem in the course of the construction. So let's look at architectural drawing. Um, Let me see one I can pick. Which site is that? Okay, let me open MacGregor. Let me open this. I have one architectural drawing. Okay, yeah. So let's go to. So I have one architectural drawing here. So then it also depends on the architect that designed the drawing. So these guys they are more well detailed than each other. So let's just look at this at the moment. So if I have another architectural drawing that is well detailed than this, I will show you guys. So this the architectural drawing is the site plan for the project. So we have our grid lines, then we have our grid lines both on both axes, both the x and y axis. So this is site plan. So if I have an architectural drawing like that, especially the site plan, what I'm always looking for is the offset from the boundary, to the proposed building itself, to the proposed structure itself. So I'm always looking after the offset because it is very, very, very important. Let's look at this for example. So this is 4.5 here from the wall fence to the building itself. This is 4.5. So I will look for that on both sides before I will now start taking my offset. So because one thing we always used to do is I myself as a surveyor. So if I get to site, let's assume you have a new project like this one. So once we get to site, I will pick the existing boundary of that site. So I will now superimpose it on this design drawing so that we will be sure that what the architect has designed is what is truly existing on site, because we used to have these challenges. Most cases, what the architect will design on, their boundary that they will design on, is always, most times, is not up to, or let me say is always bigger than what is existing on site. Do you get? So for example now they said they want 4.5 here from the wall fence to the building, and here they want 5.5 here from the building to another structure here. Then from this structure to the wall fence again, they want 4.595. Do you get what I'm saying? So we'll now go to site and pick the as built as a surveyor, pick the as built, see the total area. I will now superimpose this drawing in the layout, in the drawing that I picked on site, in the boundary that I picked on site as well. So I can use this their own design boundary, superimpose it with my own existing boundary. Do you get what I'm saying? So that we will now check. Once I've done that, I will now check if what they designed will fit in with what is existing on site. So that one is very, very important as a surveyor. So once I also do that, I will share it with my team, with my engineers and architects in my own team. So if there is any error, if there's any discrepancies, so that we can flag it to the client, to the respective consultants on that project, so that every one of us will now come together. Okay, where we want 4.5, you cannot get 4.5 there because the property is not as big as you guys think it is. Do you get what I'm saying? So we'll now flag it, we'll superimpose the building, we'll now tell them the space that is left from the building on both sides, on every side, on the four side of the property. So now tell them. So we'll look at this axis too, check what we have there. We'll look at this side on four corner of that property. We'll look at it after we have superimposed the designed structure in it. So every one of us will now be on the same page. Then there are some times too that what the architectural design on is not up to what is existing on site, and that one is of a good advantage. So that means we will be having more space than what the architect designed. So but still the architect can still go back and plan more things or develop some other ideas so that they can manage the free space as well. So doing that as bit is very, very, very important. Even if you are not a surveyor, you are an engineer, you are an architect, we must always get an accurate data that we will be working with. And if this type of things happens, we always flag it and resolve the issue so that everybody will be on the same page. So that's why ASBIT is very, 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 very important. So that's why I said architectural learning is very important for me. Before we even proceed at all, I have to consider this information before we even before I even superimpose my structural. I always do the architectural drawing first. So once we meet up with the requirement from the architect, then we will now proceed. So after the architectural drawing has fit in, then I will now bring in my structural, superimpose it on it, then we are good to go. So once the architectural drawing fits in, so definitely there is no problem with structural. So we'll just use the grid line for the building, for the proposed structure. The same grid line, we'll use it for the structural too as well, to superimpose both the structural and architectural together. So there's not much problem with structure when it comes to this aspect. So that is that for architectural drawing. So that is number one thing I always pay attention to. Then what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Let's check through. Let's check through. So these ones, once we have done the first part that I explained to you guys, I don't think there is really much thing on the other part. So all we just need to pay attention to is their dimensions, to make sure that yes, it is the right dimension that they put in their drawing. Do you get what I'm saying? So then at every stage we'll be looking at it. Once we are done with our ground floor, we'll go back to the architectural drawing. Then all these black thick lines, they are block work, where there will be block work. So this tells us how we will partition the whole ground floor. So there are some places that there won't be structure. So you can see this drawing, for example. So all these open spaces, they are meant for car park. So they only have few buildings, few blocks of building on the ground floor compared to first floor. Yeah, this is first floor. So compared to first floor, what's this? I think this is swimming pool. So there is swimming pool on first floor. There's swimming pool. So you can see guys. So that's just it. There's not really a lot of things that we need to pay attention to. Once the architects designed his drawing and it is well detailed, there is nothing confusing about architects. So just follow the instruction. Where they said there should be toilet, let's put toilet there. Where they said there should be kitchen, let's put kitchen there. Where should there be stores? Then there are some of them that they will want you to use like 6 inches blocks for their walls, and there are some 9 inches blocks. So they will definitely give you those details, like the thickness of their wall. You will see it there that it is clear. So some of them will not be as thick as others. So that place you need to pay attention to that place as well. So I think there's nothing really too much about architectural drawing once you have paid attention to all those things. So they will always give you your full dimension. So as you are setting out your blocks, as the builder is monitoring the block setting out, you're always focusing on the dimension to make sure that yes, you are getting the exact dimension as it is designed. Then one thing we always used to do is once we do our forming on the concrete on the ground floor, let's say on the first floor for example, we always invite the structural to come and check after the first course, the first phase of the blocks. Once we've laid the forming the foundation, we will ask them to come and check, we'll measure together, take physical measurements, then we verify, then he approves and we go ahead from there. So that's all for architectural drawing. That's all for architectural. So I don't think there's anything much about that. So just follow up, pay attention to details, check everything at every stage. Make sure you are checking through to make sure that you are following the drawing. So that is all on architectural drawing, guys. So I will see you in the next class. I'll see you in the next class. So if there's any question you guys want to ask, make sure you drop it in the comment section. So if there's any addition you want to ask, or there's anything you still want me to explain better on so that I can do a video on that, just drop it in the comment section. I'll try my best to attend to those things. So that's it, guys. See you later. Bye.